What's up, gamers? It's me, Lucas G, from the G Bros Gaming channel. Today I'm doing a Kerbal Space Program video where I take a Soyuz rocket to the minty flats of Minmus. I realized this idea when I was, making a Vostok recreation, and realized I had so much Delta V that I could try to go to the Mun. So I did. Realized the Mun was way too hard for me, just because I'm not a good pilot. But I realized the Mun was a bit too hard for me, so I decided, let's go to Minmus, the minty flats of Minmus. Because it costs like almost no Delta V to do anything on Minmus. You can land there on purely RCS, at least with this ship you can. So, that's what I'm doing here. We got the 3-seat Russian command pod, and I'm going to build it with Jebediah, Bill, and Bob. No room for Valentina, because it's only a 3-seater. But next video, I will take Valentina somewhere. And then I'm just going to start... I started building this transfer stage here with a nuclear engine. And, yeah. This is on a sandbox save. If I were doing this on my science save, you'd take the Science Junior, the Mystery Goo, all the science stuff that you can take with you. But this is sandbox, and you just really go to planets here for the fun of it. So, yeah, that's pretty much the thesis for this video. So, as you can see me here in the VAB, I'm just building the lander. This is all going to go inside a fairing for transportation and launch from Kerbin. Yeah, I'm building the fairing right here. It goes all the way around this whole little payload. And I'm going to color it. I think I'm doing a voiceover. I'm doing something more Matt Lowne style, where he would, he would record his footage and then commentate on it later in post. So that's what I'm doing here. You should definitely check out Matt Lowne. He's a great KSP YouTuber. Definitely recommend him. But yeah, so here we're constructing the main Soyuz rocket part. Here I realized that was way too long. Just messing around in the VAB. So I realized that was a bit too long, so not yet though. So I attached that adapter, dragged the entire rocket up, then I realized that the booster was too long, and went to go get a new fuel tank for the booster. I picked this mid-sized one, and this is the Gemini. You know the Mark II command pod? That's how wide it is. That's the Gemini diameter. So you're supposed to use this diameter fuel tank for, Gemini recreations. So, attaching the engine, Kodiak engine, it's a great engine. And I'm going to add, to get these Gemini diameter parts and the Kodiak and Cub engines, along with the Russian command pods, you have to have making history. But you can always switch out the Russian-style command pod for a Mark I command pod and use really any rocket you want that is MUN-capable to do this mission. But if you do have making history, the Russian command pods are a great choice. They have built-in ablative material, and the Kodiak engines are really good, as well as these Cubs. I use these Cubs for my Dragon recreation. Speaking of Dragon, SpaceX, good job, SpaceX, you did good. So here I'm just making the boosters. I am playing on Xbox, but I feel like that's besides the point. So I think here I messed up pretty soon. I think I messed up the boosters with the rotational tool. And I had to switch them out for some hydraulic decouplers. This is going to be onion staged. If you don't know what onion staging is, your side boosters run into the, yep, there, I messed them up. But onion staging is where your side boosters flow fuel into your main tank, so that when they separate, your main booster is still full of fuel. That's onion staging. Asparagus staging is when one set of side boosters flows into the main tank, and the other set of side boosters flows into the set of boosters that is flowing into the main tank. It's super efficient, and you get a lot of gas. You get a lot of distance traveled on the same amount of gas. So So it's very efficient, gets you pretty high, and is pretty powerful. So here I was doing the propellant crossfeed thing. And then I just had to shred it together, and I would go down to the pad. Oh, and staging too, that's very important. I know I did have to edit out a lot of the bloopers for this mission. One of the bloopers was I forgot to do the staging. So I forgot staging, and the clamps went off before the clamps decoupled before my engines fired. So I just sort of crashed into the pad. So yeah. Yep, and there go the struts. Just gonna attach the struts like so. Pretty easy. And then I'll do the exact same pattern I did with the propellant crossfeed down here. The struts, beautiful rocket. I attached some launch clamps because normally when I do a mission, I just have the rocket sit on its engines, but I didn't want that today because I wanted it to look nice for YouTube. So yeah, our rocket is now completed. I'm just rotating it so that it is pointed so that I can just pitch down. Yeah, as you can see, I am playing on Xbox. I wrote Soyuz to Minmus. So, let's go to the pad. So, this is the final take. It took me 3 tries to get this mission right. One time I did not have a good, I went to the tracking station so that I can get myself a good Minmus encounter. I have gone to Minmus once before in the save file, but I've been to Minmus about 3 times in another save file. Mainly because in my science save file, where I have gone to Minmus more than once, I've been looking for science. So I have, reason to visit Minmus, other than just for the fun of it. And I really do enjoy going to Minmus, even though I haven't been to it too many times. I still really enjoy visiting it when I do visit it because it's a very forgiving place, Minmus. If you hit the ground too hard, your landing gear won't explode, but your engine will, which, might be a little bit worse, because, you're there, but you're stranded, but your Kerbals are still alive in a crash-landed ship, which gives you some time to send Jebediah or some other Kerbals to rescue them. So we're just going to grab the new rocket. Soyuz to Minmus. Oh, that voice crack. Oh yeah, there's my other Soyuz. Soyuz to Minmus. Here we go. So we're just gonna get out to the pad and just launch normally. This is actually the 3rd attempt I had at doing this. This is a 20, probably end up being 20 minutes. I'm very rambly, but all our Kerbals are sitting in there nicely. I'm going to time warp around today because YouTube's compression algorithm makes videos a bit darker than they were when they were filmed. Yep, there's me time warping. So, engines are on. Oh, clamps released. And we're off. So, in the VAB, I angled my rocket so that I can just pitch down, which would be pushing up on my left analog stick. Just so I can make some gentle taps pushing up on my analog stick, and I won't have to do any crazy rolling or anything with the vertivore engines. I can really just focus on making gentle taps pitching down. So, there's the reason there's so many engines on that side staging panel is because, again, I had to have about 8 Kodiaks. I had 8 Kodiak engines. On each booster had 3 Cub Vernvor engines, plus an extra 4 Vernvor engines on the, plus another 4 Vernvor engines stuck to the main stack. I did build an R7 in the past, but it wasn't that great. I did not have making history. It was out, but, it was when I was new. I used rapiers because it had, the quad nozzle aesthetic that I was looking for. Really, That wasn't a great rocket. It really wasn't. But it was the thing that propelled my first satellite into orbit. Which is funny because it's because, oh, there go the boosters. Not really a perfect Corey-Love cross, but yeah. As you can see now, we actually gained a whole bunch of fuel because of that propellant crossfeed system. So, this booster is actually going to take us all the way up into orbit because it has a lot of fuel. And I was saying the reason I realized this whole idea is because Soyuz rockets in this game end up with a lot of fuel, a lot more fuel. So this thing is going to circularize us and get us, I think, about halfway through our burn to Minmus before the nuclear engine takes over. And I just wanted to use that one because it's sufficient. It might not be accurate, but I mean, Minmus doesn't exist in the real world, so I mean, it's allowed. And I think about here, I ditched the fairing to unveil the payload, which is our lander and nuclear engine stage. I realized I had no RCS on the main booster, because, you know, who has RCS on a main booster? But I had no RCS on it, so I actually had to throttle up to save RCS fuel. I had to throttle up my the Cubs, and also ended up throttling up the Kodiaks, and that happened. So we did swing around a little bit, but we did get a pretty good Minmus encounter. So we're just gonna point to our maneuver node. Yes, this thing did circularize us. So we're just gonna time warp around until Minmus is in a nice position. And here's a tip for a Minmus for noobs video. Or if you're new to the game and you're just trying to get to Minmus for the first time, since it's on an inclined orbit, you want Minmus to be since Minmus's gravity well is almost non-existent. You really have to have Minmus in a good position, but I got it in a good position, so it's fine. And that's when I ditched that booster, and now I can use my RCS because it's not pushing as much. Use auto SAS to align myself with the time warp. Then I thought I got to the burn, but I didn't, and then realized I was my orbit was a little too low, and I was dipping into the atmosphere, but not really. But you see, that atmospheric gauge did drop down a little bit, which is why I could not time warp faster than 4 times. But we're just going to time warp around until we are no longer in the atmosphere. And then we can continue the automatic time warp to bring us to Minmus. The way the time warp menu works is, it works like that. It works like that. I would definitely recommend, I'm just going to move on to the next point. I would definitely recommend using the warp to next maneuver because it brings you right to when you need to start burning. And it's just great. As you can see, I did overshoot it a little bit, so I did have to burn. But I still got my Minmus encounter. At least I think I did. Still got my Minmus encounter with this one. And yeah. So you can see that little Delta V gauge dropping. This is a pretty uneventful part of the mission, I believe. Yeah, because I edited this right. I edited it right. But I did actually get my Minmus encounter here. And yeah. So I guess while we're here, I will talk about why I'm doing this Matt Lown style. It's because, so I have in the past tried to play Kerbal Space Program in real time with a face cam, but that didn't really work out. So what I had to do, because my camera, my camera, which is just my phone, it does not have much memory space on it. It does not have a lot, so I cannot make Kerbal Space Program videos in real time. Because if you've ever played this video game and have done any sort of significant mission, then you will know that, any significant mission takes about, it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour. So, yeah. I'm playing this video back at 2 times speed, so it's, you know, a little bit easier to watch. But the reason it's going down so slow is because the nuclear engine is just not good. Yeah. It's because the nuclear engine is just not, it's just not a very high thrust engine. And there's the Minmus encounter. You can close out the thing, and we're just going to time warp over. So, we're going to capture at Minmus. We're not going to bother orbiting Minmus. We're just going to deorbit straight from Minmus. Just so that, oh wait, I think I did actually leave this thing in orbit. I was going to say, just so we make sure that we can smash this nuclear engine into the ground, but we can't. But, yeah. Again, I like Minmus because not only does it look like it's made of ice cream, but it's super forgiving, and it's because its gravity well is near non-existent. And you can just jump around with the RCS packs, with the Kerbals. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. Even more fun than jumping around on the moon, or the mun. So here we're just time warping over to our maneuver node, burning. For landing, here a tip for landing propulsively is just use engage auto SAS by clicking on it, or if you're on Xbox, you can push B, the B button on your controller. But then you go select your retrograde marker on the side, and you and it will keep you held so that your engine is pointed down or against your trajectory to you know, it'll slow you down. So here, yeah, as you can see, if this were the Mun, I would pretty much be screwed. But I'm not, because it's Minmus, its gravity well is near non-existent, and these RCS blocks, they have a lot of power over Minmus. And this is the heaviest Russian-style command pod. You can use the single, yeah, I quick saved there, but you can use the single-seater command pod with RCS blocks and stuff like this. You can just switch out the pods and remove the drogue chutes, and you end up with those RCS blocks end up with a lot of control authority. So here I'm in docking mode, put down the gear. I quick saved again because I really did not want to have to try again from high up above Minmus. And my first 2 bloopers, I landed on the, not on the flats, but landed pretty close to the flats, and ended up tipping over when I got out of the ship. And when I tried to ascend from Minmus, it just kind of exploded. So I'm glad I landed on the flats, because I've never been to the flats, not on this save file, and they look the most like ice cream from anything on Minmus. And Minmus is made of ice cream is a recurring joke. Just wanted to quick save just in case. So we can get Commander Jebediah out of the lander. Yeah, you can really see his limbs are very floaty. We can get Bill Kerman out of the ship. Yeah, he really likes to use his EVA pack, but I mean, sometimes that happens. He's just rolling around on Minmus. This is why I love Minmus, because it's just, the gravity is so low. You can just roll around, and you can jump really high. I don't think I jumped without the EVA packs in this mission, but normally, if you just visit Minmus and jump, you can jump higher than your entire lander. Mainly because either your direct descent lander is, medium-sized, or your non-direct descent lander is small. So, plant the flag. I'm using the NASA flag. And, Bill is still using his EVA pack. Put that away. And now we can get a beauty shot. Or we're going to line up all the Kerbals to get a nice beauty shot. The Kerbals standing on Minmus next to their flag. Put away your RCS pack. So yeah, we're focused on Jebediah Kerman right now. There's that beautiful beauty shot. Or, not. That's not a great beauty shot because you can't really see him. But, what are they doing here? What do I do here? Oh, yeah. That beauty shot is probably going to be, one of those beauty shots is most likely going to be the thumbnail. So Bill Kerman's just going to use his EVA pack fly around for a little bit. Not really sure. Oh, he's getting back into the lander. Since I'm voicing this over in post and not playing in real time, sometimes I don't remember what past me was doing. So, yeah. Bob Kerman, now he's going to jump jet up in there. Jebediah Kerman, he's getting ready to get into the lander. And did I take a surface sample? No, I did not. Okay. I forgot. So, yeah, as you can see, RCS has way too much authority, so I used that to just lift off. Then I think we're burning with the main engine. For Minmus, you definitely want to look in the map screen because since its gravity well is near non-existent, if you burn for like a minute too long or a second too long, then you will be on a curb and escape trajectory. But here we made it. Now we're just going to use auto SAS, hold retrograde, and burn. Yeah, there's me. Clicking the retrograde marker. We're pretty much just going to zoom out and begin burning with the main engine. And we are good. So now we're just going to time warp down to Kerbin. I think I might have. Yep, there's the glitch. There's a glitch when you time warp a little too fast. You can end up just completely canceling out. You cannot just end up crashing into Kerbin, but the game won't register it. So yeah. So here, I pointed retrograde, and just began to cut velocity with RCS and the main engines. And then we about to. Then I stopped. Oh yeah, I was editing these the staging panel because I wanted my drogue chutes to come down first, just so that the main chute wouldn't die. Our main engine cut out, so I think now I'm gonna decouple it. Yep, decouple that. That exploded. Time warp down. We only used 10 units of the built-in ablator on this ship. Yeah, I wanted to go check how much ablator we used. We only used 10 units. So, just gonna time warp down. Drogue chutes came down. I really wish I could have landed on the light side of Kerbin. But I mean, you get what you get. Alright, so drogue chutes came down, main chute came down, and we have a beautiful splashdown in the oceans of Kerbin. Yeah, even with your, even on 4 times time warp, you do fall quite slowly back down to the surface. So, yeah, that was pretty much the, that's pretty much the whole video. Yes. So, boom, splashdown. So, we're going to recover them. That was a beautiful, successful Minmus mission. So, yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to Kerbal Space Program 2. Subscribe. Check out my brother's Slime Rancher series. Comment what you would like to see next in Kerbal Space Program. And I might end up playing some normal Minecraft or even Minecraft Dungeons because it's new and it's just big awesome. So, I really appreciate past me giving me a little bit of time on the screen to do my outro. But past editing me, did not give me enough time. Okay, bye. Bye-bye, guys. Subscribe. Like. Yes. Stop.